I can be a little bit slow at times. I've been thinking, Counterspin had just been doing all this stuff about the Christchurch and the evidence that there was multiple multiple shooters, and that the bullets weren't real, and and that the video was all fake. Of course, they haven't provided any actual evidence. They say they got a press release, but they actually haven't offered one single shred, and that's the thing. Very good at putting up good old Kelvin, but not very good at delivering the goods at the final day of the week. On the other hand, on more positive news, so we've got the deadline report coming along very nicely at the moment. And the summer season will be including basically one of New Zealand's top private investigators, who's also got some very, very clever ideas for how we can stamp out corruption for the police, and at the same time bring a bit of mana back to the police as well. So he's not out to attack you one for the police, but he's saying, well, actually this could be avoiding a lot of problems, and will probably be both for good sides. So we'll be talking to him, and then we will be talking to Dylan Blair, whose father, Kerry Blair, went missing at sea in 2014 after working for Alistair Castle, who had also employed Scott Watson. And the more we learn about what happened there and who worked there and the links to the Dunedin scene, the more interesting it gets in terms of also sketchy transnational crime and a whole bunch of other interesting stuff, which is all starting to come. The roosters are all starting to come home to say. Now, on that note, I will be talking, or actually the summer season will include Michael Field. Michael Field he's a veteran of reporting in the South Pacific. Pretty much if you listen to Radio New Zealand, New Zealand Press Association, or any mainstream news over the last 30 years reporting on the Pacific, probably more than a likely chance Michael Field was one of the contributing authors to the stories that you were listening to, and he's going to be talking to us about transnational crime. And again, he just shared me some very, very juicy information recently, which is fitting in perfectly to my current book about gold guns and bloody gods, which we will be releasing hopefully next year to much fanfare, maybe the year after that, but yes, it's all starting to look quite nicely. We'll be talking to Councillor from Alexa Forbes from Central Otago, and she will also be talking effectively about the plans of New Zealand First in terms of basically dismantling democracy. Now, Alexa's, tends to be, I would call, one of my more woke friends, and it's very interesting because we start talking about things like, she'll turn around and talk about how all that nonsense about 15-minute cities, and then I'll turn around and say, well, what do you think about freedom cities, Alexa? And I'll describe these things. She says, no, we don't want those. I said, well, this is pretty much what people like Donald Trump want, and they're pretty much the same things as the 15-minute cities. So there's sort of differences here, but there's nice overlaps, and we kind of bring out these sort of things in the show, as I do also with Bruce from the Museum of Natural Mysteries and Curiosities, who again is a person with a very interesting background who will be having on board our show. We've got David, our roving rock reporter. We've got a great couple lineup with a couple of really great Nelson chefs as well, including Peter from Le Cafe and Chris from Revite Cafe, who again, wonderful, wonderful people, wonderful food, and have got more than just serving you a muffin going on in their minds upstairs. So we talked about all sorts of things: music, art, and health. And then we have another great lineup, basically of people which we're going to keep kind of under our wraps, because we just think they're a bit special, and we don't want to share all of our toys with you, because there's a lot to actually pack on. And so again, we will be sort of looking again, going back to this whole situation about the Christchurch situation, because again, we've been slowly picking that one apart, and we'll probably be sharing you some little tidbits of our investigation. But we're in no hurry to release our investigation, because we want to actually make sure that we do have our facts. But as we can prove them and verify them, we will share them with you. And when it comes to what we're currently discovering about corruption and transnational crime, and basically a fairly large well, again, let's not show all our cards. But as I said, we've got some great experts, veteran journalists, private investigators, and some of the best long-term political brains in the South Island, who aren't just fly-by people ready to try and get clicks and so on. So I think you'll enjoy our shows, and we look forward to sharing them with you in our upcoming season of the Deadline Report. A little bit of history, a little bit of mystery, and a whole bunch of things to blow